What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am continuing my pursuit of doing a deck with every Prime Pokemon card, except for Umbreon Prime, because, I mean, that thing is literally useless. Like, I mean, it's just so bad that I tried so hard and just could not think of anything to do with it. But today we are focusing on Lanturn Prime, and before I get into the deck, just a reminder that if you guys liked this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton and lets us do more cool stuff for you guys. And as for the question of the day, I'm just going to go very simple. And what is your favorite television show? Now, for me, mine would have to be Scrubs. Now, initially, I would have said The Simpsons, because, I mean, that was, like, something that goes way back in my childhood. It was, like, a family thing. Like, every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central, we would come together, and no matter what we were doing, when it was 7 o'clock on a Sunday evening, it was time for the whole family to come together and watch a half hour of just... yeah, a half hour of Simpsons. Like, it was just such a great family moment that I really looked forward to, and so it had a special place in my heart, and still does. But as I've gotten older and am working towards becoming a doctor, Scrubs has become my favorite television show, because, I mean, there are two ways of looking at it. First of all, Scrubs is one of those that, like, you can just kind of sit back, watch, turn your brain off, and get a good chuckle at. Or it's something that, like, with medical knowledge, you can, like, really look into it and be like, wow, that's actually accurate, or that's really funny because of blah blah blah. So, like, you can enjoy it on multiple levels, so it's just something that I really enjoy watching. And also, it's helped me get a question right on a couple of tests, so I mean, that's just kind of gravy on top of everything. So yep, Scrubs right now is my favorite TV show. Let me know what your guys' favorite TV show is in the comment section down below, and why. I would love to hear what you guys are watching. But anyway, onto the deck, like I said, centered around Lanturn Prime, and I do want to give a little quick heads up. Let's just say there's a reason that only one of the primes is particularly used in the Legacy metagame, and that is Celebi Prime. Heart Gold Soul Silver got power creeped so incredibly much, and Lanturn Prime is a perfect example of that. So if we look at it, has 110 HP as a stage 1, which, I mean, that's just no bueno. That's just not enough. That's just plain and simple not enough. Like, for like a Middlemon, then I could see, like, then 110 for a stage 1 would be good. If it was like a first evolution, like in, well, in this case, Pignite, or not Samurai, wow, Dewott, wow, I could not remember the middle evolution at all. But I mean, something like that, then I could see 110. But like 110 as an attacker, that's just not good enough. With its Poke Power, Underwater Dive. Now, this is a very cool ability. Once during your turn, you may use this power, Lanturn's water type, until the end of this turn. Basically, you can just turn Lanturn from a lightning type into a water type, and you're able to hit for more weaknesses, which is what this deck is going to be centered around. And then the attack, Powerful Spark, for 3 energy, does 40 base, plus 10 for each energy attached to all of your Pokemon. Now, this is plain and simple, just power creep at its finest. Like, Powerful Spark, 40 base power. Like, that's just for 3 energy. Like, if it was like 2 energy, then I could definitely agree with 40, and I would think it's a solid attack. But for 3 energy, 40 base power, and then only 10 for each additional energy, like, that's just straight up not enough. Like, if you have 8 energy on board, like, getting 8 energy on board is a feat in and of itself. Like, you gotta really dedicate to getting 8 energy on the board. 3 energy, it's still only doing 120. Darkrai for 3 energy is doing 120, but 90 to the active and 30 to the bench, and you have things like Dark Patch in order to power it up. Like, I mean, that's just the power creep, an example of the power creep. And Darkrai only needs 3 energy on board and 3 energy attached to itself. So, I mean, like, Lanturn Prime, it's going to be difficult to pull this off, but I think we can, and the deck that I'm using it in is basically a Reshiram deck, but I'm throwing Lanturn Prime in there as another attacker. And basically, this deck can't compete with, like, the really good decks, but what it is focusing on is trying to just hit for weakness against a lot of stuff, because with Reshiram, you're hitting for fire. Lanturn, you're hitting for lightning and water. So we're just focusing on that and trying to go with it. Now, I'm just going to go down the Pokemon. We have 2 Smeargle for setup early, Portrait, just be able to use multiple supporters, get things set up as quickly as possible. 2 Reshiram as a secondary attacker because Reshiram is a deck in and of itself. With Outrage and Blue Flare, just be able to hit for 20 plus 10 more for each damage counter on Reshiram, and then 120 for 3 energy with Blue Flare, although you have to discard energy, but we have ways of dealing with that. 3-1-3 of Tepig through Emboar. Normally you just want like 1 Emboar in play, but it's important enough that we need to have this in the deck. We need to have a good number of those. 2 Exeggcute so that we can do cheeky things with Superior Energy Retrieval, Junk Arm, and Computer Search. And then 2-2 of Chinchou and Lanturn Prime as the main attacker, just because, I mean, like, otherwise this deck just becomes saturated with Pokemon, and it really does not work, so that's why there's only 2-2 of Chinchou and Lanturn, even though I say this deck is centered around it. As for the items, Computer Search as the ace-spec of choice, 100% need it, because this deck needs all the help in setup it can get, and just set up as quickly as possible, and then with Exeggcute, you are essentially just discarding, you're essentially getting Computer Search for free, Junk Arm, for absolute max number of those because we need to recur our items, and then Junk Arm plus Computer Search with Exeggcute. You can turn a Junk Arm into a Computer Search for essentially free once again. 2 Level Ball to be able to search out the low-level stuff early, 2 Random Receiver in order to turn a Junk Arm potentially into a supporter, 2 Rare Candy to go straight from Tepig into Emboar, 1 Super Rod to recur Pokemon, 2 Superior Energy Retrievals in order to get back a lot of energy all at once. I tried without Exeggcute and then just Energy Retrieval, but I mean it just did not get enough energy for me. It really didn't. Like 4 versus 2, I mean it's completely worth the discard effect, and then with the 2 Exeggcute that we are running, we can essentially get that for free. So 100% I needed to run Superior Energy Retrieval. 1 Switch in order to get Emboar out of there because I didn't have room for Float Stone, and Emboar has a whopping 4 retreat cost. 3 Ultra Ball also for Search, just because, I mean, with like Junk Arm, Computer Search, Ultra Ball, Level Ball, we're able to get enough of what we want. And you might be noticing that I'm not running Tool Scrapper. So yes, this deck does just straight lose to Garbodor, but this deck is kind of mediocre enough. I just decided that, you know what, we're going to take the L against Garbodor decks because I needed to try to tech it out against matchups that it has a decent chance with. I mean, yeah, Lanturn does have the ability to one-shot Landorus, but any opponent in their right mind is going to go with Mewtwo and just be able to run through me and then get a Garbodor set up, and basically we'd just be so pressured that we wouldn't be able to deal with it anyway. So I'm just taking the L against Garbodor decks. 2 Tropical Beaches, and if you guys don't have Tropical Beach, which is very, very, very understandable, I'm very lucky to have a couple copies, then you have space to throw in a Tool Scrapper and another Superior Energy Retrieval. In my opinion, definitely throw that because we need as much energy recursion as we can get. But yeah, 2 Tropical Beaches just help us set up early. 3-4 of N and Oak. No Junipers because we need all of our cards. Like, every single card is valuable in this deck, so we need to shuffle draw in order for our supporters in order to succeed. And then 2 Twins to be able to, like, once our Smeargle goes down, we'll be down 6-5. Twins lets us get any 2 cards we want in our deck and be able to use those. 2 Silver Bangles to boost damage output, 9 Fire Energy to be able to put those on and use Inferno Fandango, and then 3 Lightning Energy for the Lanturn. I've talked for way too long, and yeah, let's just go ahead and see this deck in action. Alrighty, we have found one against Formance, with what looks like a Team Plasma deck, so this will be very interesting. Unfortunately, we will not have type advantage against really anything in his deck. If anything, we will be at the type disadvantage. And unfortunately, I draw into 3 Emboars, which, I mean, that's a pretty solid in-game team, but when it comes to TCGO, means that you just don't get to start with anything. So, a little bit unfortunate right there, but we are just going to take our mulligan and draw back into some stuff. And wow, okay, so we actually start with a very, very nice hand. Like, this is great. Let's go ahead and play the Tepig down as well. Smeargle might be able to get me something good. And, okay. So, let's go ahead and Computer Search. First things first. Immediately get rid of this Exeggcute, because, I mean, I want that thing to be able to propagate later. I'm going to throw the Lightning in there as well so that I can recur that. Let's grab a... Do I want to just grab a Chinchou? Let's go ahead and do that, and this way I have an N for, well, I mean, this way I have the Chinchou down because, I mean, that's my main attacker, and then I can just end into a new hand, and unfortunately, I get stuff that I really don't want to see right now. I want to see later. Let's see if my opponent gives me anything that I can use with Portrait. Do get a Professor Oak's New Theory, so that is beautiful for me. I'll be able to get a fresh hand of 6 cards, hopefully something that I can work with a little bit better, and this definitely counts as that. So what I'm going to do is Level Ball for the Exeggcute, and then I kind of want to hold on to these energy in case I can draw into a Rare Candy off my Tropical Beach. So let's Ultra Ball, get rid of the Exeggcutes to grab a... I want to grab a Reshiram, because that might be what I need. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab a Reshiram instead of a Pignite. This way I can also get an extra 3 cards off of this. And I do, which is very, very nice. I get a couple twins, which is a supporter, but it's not necessarily a supporter that I want right now. I mean, I'd prefer if my opponent... Like, if my opponent could just immediately knock out my Smeargle, that would put me in an amazing spot. But unfortunately, they are going to laser me, which is very not good. Because now, even if I do wake up, I will not be able to go for Portrait. I have no way of getting out of it, and I think this might just end up being a body bag. Because, I mean, my opponent's playing Team Plasma, which is one of the premier decks in the Legacy format, and I am playing Emboar Lanturn Prime, which, I mean, Lanturn Prime got so speed creeped, it's not even funny. Let's see if I can get... Okay, so I get a Superior Energy, or I get a Professor Oak, and what I can do right now is I can do some annoying Exeggcute stuff. Because I can get 2 back into my hand, and I can immediately get up in Emboar, so I'm at least able to attack. Let's Junk Arm, get rid of both of these Exeggcute, so that I can grab my Computer Search. I don't want to grab the Level Ball. I want to grab the Computer Search. Even if I did want to grab something with Level Ball, I would still grab Computer Search, because I literally have 0 drawback from going for a Computer Search, because I do have the double Exeggcutes that I can go ahead and just continually propagate and discard. So let's go ahead and do that. Find the Rare Candy so that I am now set up, and honestly, I'm in a pretty solid spot right now. Because what I can do is Inferno Fandango, put the energy onto the Reshiram, put another energy onto the Reshiram, and then Oak. I'm saving my Superior Energy Retrieval for later. Like, I really don't want to have to use that immediately. So yeah, let's... well, what I could have done that turn is attached to Smeargle, manually retreated, and then gone for the Superior Energy Retrieval with the Exeggcutes. But I want to save these because I think that they will be invaluable in getting my Reshirams, like, well, in recurring my energy, keeping my Reshirams attacking, and such. So what I'm going to do right here, go ahead and Blue Flare, set up the Kyurem to be knocked out by simply an Outrage next turn. And yes, I do have the type weakness, unfortunately, so that is going to be very, well, unfortunate, to say the least. Yeah, man, this is not looking good. Because what I liked about Lanturn Prime is that you have, well, with this build of the deck, you have 3 different chances to hit for weakness. You have fire, you have water, and you have electric. Like, you have all those chances to hit for weakness. And if we're not hitting for weakness, I mean, weakness was like the one thing that this deck could really potentially have a chance to win with, because, I mean, let's be real, Lanturn Prime, like I've said, is speed creeped like crazy. Like, it cannot compete. But if I'm able to hit for weakness, then I do have a chance. However, we're still in this, to be honest. Like, we really are. We're not out of it by any means. What I can do, so let's go ahead and Lanturn. How many are in my discard pile? So, I mean, regardless, I'm going to need to Superior Energy Retrieval this turn. Sorry, I have something caught in my throat. I have mucus in my throat. So I'm, like, trying to correct my... I'm trying to, like, what am I trying to say? I don't even know. I'm just trying to clear up my throat while also talking, which isn't working out that well. But what I can do this turn is simply attach an energy to Reshiram, and I need to make sure that I Inferno Fandango. I need to save my Wow, sorry about that. I need to save my lightning, or I need to save my manual attachment for my lightning because lightning doesn't work with Inferno Fandango. But now I can save my Reshiram for like a very powerful outrage later. And do I want to underwater dive? You know what, I might as well underwater dive. I mean, why the heck not? And then let's go for a powerful spark to be able to knock out my opponent's Kyurem. And would you look at that, we actually took the lead against Plasma, which was something that I was actually like really worried about. I was thinking that because Plasma is generally so fast that it would just like steamroll me and I really just wouldn't have much of a chance against it. But considering we do have an Emboar set up, we do have a Reshiram. Is he going to get heads? Of course he is. It's going to bring up I'm going to bring up my Emboar. And guys, I'm really sorry about clearing my throat. This is just very... Yeah, this is very annoying right now for me, trying to narrate while I have constant congestion, so I really do apologize for that. I mean, this allergy season is just hitting me full force. And unfortunately, boy. So I need to try to get another Emboar up. That way... Crap. So if I can somehow get a switch, then I have a chance. But I mean, otherwise, he's just going to be able to like keep my Emboar up, knock that thing out. I'm not going to be able to attach energy, and then he will just start being able to snipe down my Reshiram, snipe down my Smeargle, that type of thing. So this is not looking particularly good for me at this point, especially because my opponent is continuing just able to draw more cards, just able to draw through their deck. But at the same time, I mean, I'm keeping my head up. I think we can do this, especially because my opponent leaves their Thundurus active. So let's go ahead and Inferno Fandango. I think put the regular energy onto the healthy Reshiram, and then N. I only get 5 cards, but I'm hoping that I can pull some shenanigans with Junk Arm, which I can. That's cool. But I will have to. I can't knock it out with Silver Bangle. But what I can do is... I might be able to pull some... I need to use this for the switch. That's what stinks. Because I would like to be able to Superior Energy Retrieval right now. And get a ton of energy out there, but I don't want to attach a ton onto Emboar because, I mean, it's just going to go down. It's not even going to be a big attack. But what I can do is go ahead and Junk Arm for the switch so that I can get my Emboar out of the active spot. And at the very least, I'll be able to take a very heavy hit on my opponent's Thundurus. So I'm going to go right into my Lanturn, Silver Bangle that thing up, and then let's Inferno Fandango, put energy onto this Reshiram. I mean, I was really thinking about outraging with my other Reshiram, my damaged one, but at the same time, like, it really wouldn't do... I mean, it would be 10 damage short, and considering I don't have poison or anything like that, I'm just gonna like miss out on. I would miss out on the KO anyway. So I might as well promote my Lanturn and go from there. Although hindsight 2020, he will be able to hit my he will be able to hit my Lanturn harder with Kyurem. So that was maybe a little bit of an oversight on my part. Maybe I should have just attached to the Reshiram, but at least this way I'm like hoping that my Lanturn can live the turn, because only can he knock me out if he gets a Hypnotoxic Laser, because right now Frostbeard is only hitting for 50. And as long as he doesn't hit the laser, we should be fine. But, I mean, if he does, then he will be able to take 2 prizes off of my Reshiram on the bench and my Lanturn. I mean, if he doesn't knock out the benched Reshiram, then that's just a very poor play on my opponent's part, because, I mean, that's, like, Reshiram is capable of one-shotting Kyurem right now. And that is not something my opponent wants to deal with. It does whiff twice on the dual ball, and he Frostbeard, so my Lanturn is going to live through the turn. And he does take the knockout on the Reshiram. I mean, that was to be expected. And now we are even in prizes, so... crap. Can I knock out this Kyurem? 1, 2, 3, 4... Ah, man, I'm going to be 10 damage short. Are you kidding me? Oh, this stinks. This really stinks. So, what I'm going to do is just Inferno Fandango, energy up, the Reshiram, I guess, because, I mean, that's as good a thing as any to put energy on, I feel like. I'm gonna miss the knockout on the Kyurem anyway by 10. Ah, man, this is, like, I don't like Powerful Spark. I really just don't like it. Because, I mean, it's 40 and then only 10. If it was, like, 50 or 60 and then 10 for each energy, then that would be so much better. But because it's only 40 and 10, I'm gonna Underwater Dive. Just, I mean, hey, water damage, why not? And then let's hit the Kyurem for 110. Just, I mean, that is so frustrating. That is really, really frustrating. I miss it out. I miss out on the KO by 10. Really hoping that doesn't come back to bite me. But, I mean, against Plasma, if you give it any chances, it's going to take them and run. So my opponent does make the smart play of targeting down the Smeargle. That way it is knocked out by Frost Spear later. But what I can do at this point is promote my Smeargle. And luckily Twins is active, which I do end up top decking into. So that is beautiful. Let's go ahead and do that. Twins for, I think, let's grab, there's only one energy left. Let's grab a Super Rod and probably what do I want to grab? Do I want to grab another Emboar? Do I want to grab another Smeargle? Or do I want to grab a Junk Arm? Because Junk Arm can just turn into a Computer Search. But at the same time, I mean, if I can already grab one of anything, I might as well just go ahead and do that with Twins. Let's not grab that. Let's grab the... this is very tricky. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and grab the Super Rod. That way I can put back a Chinchou and my Lanturn Prime. And then I think an Ultra Ball? Yeah, because, I mean, I can go ahead and, like, I can just rid my deck of one more card. That way I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to put back the Reshiram, Chinchou, and Lanturn. Because, I mean, I always have access to those later with Superior... I always have access to my energy later with Superior Energy Retrieval. And so let's go ahead and double propagate Ultra Ball. And the reason I grabbed Ultra Ball instead of Emboar, like I said, is just so I have one less card in my deck that could potentially lead to a bad situation. Let's play the Reshiram, and I'm actually going to go ahead and Reshiram instead of Emboar because, I mean, I already have the Emboar. And then let's Inferno Fandango onto the Smeargle, and then hopefully cross our fingers that we get something. And we get an N off my portrait, which is beautiful. That is, like... that is incredible for me. And what I'm able to do right here is get another Chinchou. I'm able to get another Emboar if I decide to do that. So this is working out very nicely for me. So let's level ball for that Chinchou so that I can have another Lanturn Prime at least getting ready to be in play. Not in play yet. And then let's go ahead and propagate. I'm not only propagating one because I don't need that second rare candy anymore. I'm just trying to get rid of as many cards as I can. Let's grab the Superior Energy Retrieval. And then execute propagate twice so that I am able to get more energy back. I'm able to get a full Superior Energy Retrieval. That's also why I didn't want to do that earlier. I would very much, like, when I Superior Energy Retrieval in this game, I need to make sure that I'm getting something absolutely essential. Like, I need to make sure that I'm getting full value out of my superiors. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to get that. Let's go ahead and energy up this Reshiram. I think what I'm going to end up doing is just outraging with this one. Let's energy up the Chinchou. Actually, or do I want to hold on to the energy? I think I'm actually going to hold on to this fire energy in case I have the... in case I want to blue flare next turn. So that way, even if I oak and put myself in a position where I don't draw into anything, then I still have that energy in my hand. That way I can guaranteed have a blue flare up. At least by... like, at least with what I want to do this coming turn. Like, just guarantee that I have a blue flare. Unfortunately, because I'm not running... unfortunately, that Thunderous isn't going anywhere. Like, I want to be able to bring that up. My opponent, like, I'm really just... fingers crossed that my opponent promotes that Thunderous at some point so that I am able to finish that off and take 2 prizes. But otherwise, this is... I mean, it's looking solid, but as long as my opponent keeps streaming Kyurems and attacking with them, there's really not a whole lot that I'm going to be able to do. Especially once he gets a Hypnotoxic Laser. I don't think it's quite going to be able to knock me out. Helix Force is able to hit for 90, and I am going to be 10 damage short of being knocked out if I can get my Silver Bangle somehow. Like, if I can Junk Arm for a Silver Bangle, that will be incredible, as I will be able to knock out my opponent's my opponent's Deoxys, which would be huge. Like, if I can just take a knockout and get 2 prizes, that's going to put me in an incredible spot. Ooh, I think I got it. Yeah, I definitely got it. So what I can do is Lanturn Prime. Yes, it is in there. So, or do I want to just Outrage? And say, because, like, here's the thing, like, I can get a knockout, but at the same time, like, I want to save my Junk Arms for superior energy retrievals, because I think I'll need those later to hit with Lanturn. But, I mean, I guess I just have to take the knockouts where I can get them. Like, yes, my Reshiram is going to go down this turn. Like, it's going to get knocked out by, Poison. And I mean, I can play my Tropical Beach so that my opponent doesn't get any extra poison damage on anything, but like I have to take this knockout. I really do. Like I said, I would love to be able to save my Junk Arms for simply superior energy retrieval so that I can just keep the board stocked with energy, like just completely full. Like absolutely never have to worry about having enough energy. My opponent promotes that Thundurus. I mean, to be fair, he does have the Keldeo. What I'm going to do is promote the Smeargle, try to bait my opponent into trying to knock this out. I mean, okay, like, if my opponent knocks out Smeargle, that is a choke. That is 1 billion% a choke if my opponent knocks out Smeargle, because then Lanturn or Reshiram is going to be able to knock them out. But, I mean, I'm really... this is so tricky. This really is. Because I'm not in a good spot right now. Because of, yeah, I mean, it shows you the power creep of the game. Like, I'm not trying to make excuses. If you guys want to say, oh, Sticks are just making excuses, like, let me put it this way. There's a reason you never see Lanturn Prime on the Legacy ladder, and you see Plasma very frequently. Like, Plasma is plain and simply better. Like, it really just is. Like, Plasma is just a better deck than that. Ooh. I can't use the Twins right now, darn it. Because I'm not down on prizes. But, I mean, like, it just shows you the power creep in Pokemon. Like, Black and White was objectively a more powerful, generation in the TCG than Heart Gold, Soul Silver was. And, like, DPP. Like, that's not, like, necessarily up for a debate. I mean, that's just how it is. Like, just straight up. That's how it goes. So, I mean, you're getting to see this firsthand right now. Like, Lanturn Prime just cannot keep up. Even though I am combining it, I mean, it's basically a Reshiram deck with Lanturn. But in Reshiram, if I was just playing straight Reshiram, I would also have, Hypnotoxic Laser and Verbank in order to get that extra damage. But because I have Lanturn as well, I just don't have the spots for that. But, I mean, like, it just shows you the power creep in Pokemon and how real that is. And no way. Did I miss my superior? Yes, I did. Oh my gosh. I think that's game. I legitimately think that's game. Because I'm not going to be able to... Man. If I got that superior, I would have been able to knock out this Kyurem. And I think I would have been able to win the game. I really do. Dang it. So I do just have to, like, let Lanturn take the hit and potentially get knocked out with the Blizzard. Oh, that sucks. Man, that really, really sucks. Because if I got that superior, I would have been able to knock out this Kyurem with a powerful Spark. Like, that's just how it would have gone. Like, I would have been able to knock it out. Let's go ahead and... Crap. Let's actually execute so that I don't get rid of too much. I mean, I do want to get rid of this Chinchou, but, dang it. Like, this is... Yeah, and also I'm, like, running so low on my deck. Like, man, that superior just not being able to draw into that, I think, is going to cost me the game. I really do. So I'm going to be able to Powerful Spark, miss the knockout, but man, I was just so close. I was so close to getting that superior and being able to knock out the Kyurem, and now with Poison, he's probably going to be able to knock me out. Well, he's going to miss the knockout with Frost Spear, but like now I can't leave my Lanturn in because it'll go down to Poison, and I have to get rid of energy, and yeah, there's my superior. It's a little bit too late for that. Crap. So let's execute, let's propagate, and yeah, let's propagate and then just grab some energy. I don't know. Actually, I highly doubt that I want to. I mean, I need to end this turn. Like, that's just kind of a given. I need to end. Because otherwise I deck out and I lose. But what I can do right here is play the Smeargle down so that at least I draw into... Because, I mean, like, normally I wouldn't. I would just want that extra card in my deck. But because my luck obviously is not on my side with my draws, then I'm... this is bad. Because, like, otherwise I would have been able to keep Lanturn in, and then with the energy... I mean, it would have been 11. It would have been 150. So, I mean, it still wouldn't have been enough, but at least now I can... But at least I would have been able to keep the energy on board, because, I mean, now I have to start, like, blue flaring and stuff like that. Which I don't want to do. Let's... This is probably going to be a mistake, but I just want to make sure that I have that blue flare, because, I mean, knowing me, I'm going to draw into... well, I mean, I guess if I play the N, I will draw into it. I'll draw into it anyway, whatever. Whatever. That's just... Oh, man. I'm frustrated by not being able to draw into that superior, and I think I'm going to lose because of it. I really do. So let's Outrage. Knock out my opponent's Kyurem. And Lanturn, while it would have been on a limited time, like, it would have been limited, I still would have been able to just hit for a ton of damage to where I could have just, like, outraged for potential KOs instead of, like, trying to... Yeah, there's another Emboar. Oh, man, I'm just... Oh, man. I can't believe that. That's just... that stinks so much. Because now, like, Lanturn's in danger of getting knocked out. Like, I can't take Okos on anything. I have 2 cards left. I can't refresh my deck. And I'm pretty sure that's just going to be the end. So I really just have to hope that my opponent leaves something in that can get knocked out. Like, that's... The only hope I have right now is that my opponent leaves something in that can get knocked out. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it was freaking awesome that we were able to use a Lanturn Prime deck and take a Plasma deck down to the wire. I mean, I find that really, really cool. But the fact that we weren't able to finish it off is very, very frustrating. I mean, just, like, we were so close. So close to being able to do that. And yeah, my opponent is going to go for the catcher. If he gets Emboar, then I just lose. Nope. I mean, he has enough Pokemon to just be able to retreat around. Like, he has the Deoxys to take a hit. He can rush and retreat with Keldeo. He can then go into Thundurus, then go into Kyurem. I mean, he has all he needs in order to be able to take the win. So, and I'm forced to go for Blue Flare to set up a 2-hit knockout. If I had a Silver Bangle, then I could still keep the energy on board and just go for Outrages until my opponent has to leave something in. But at this point, like, yeah, my opponent is just going to retreat. Like, as long as he retreats into anything that's not damaged, I just lose. Like, I can't do anything right now. Like, that's insanely frustrating, because I think I would have had a good chance with Lanturn if I had that thing... If I had hit my Superior Energy Retrieval and not been forced to take that hit from Kyurem, and just been able to keep all my energy on board and just be able to attack with Powerful Spark and maybe put him in a bad spot. But because I didn't hit it... I mean, I tilted. Like, I should have put the energy back in the deck, as opposed to continually attaching. But, I mean, as soon as I missed that, I definitely got tilted. So, I mean, regardless, you guys got to see Lanturn Prime actually do something. Not what I wanted it to do. I wanted it to be able to hit for, like, 2 types of weaknesses. But regardless, that was still an excellent match, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.